Minions of the Zoo is a lovable ragtag group of misfits that sprang up initially as a fan group to Ranting Monkey, Scribe-Light, Some Dumb American, and their joint Lords of the Night livestream show. Late night discussions in Discord quickly evolved into streams of their own, with each member bringing something new and different to the table for discussion. Led by the incomparable Reject PPC and the One-Ton Hammer, the group rotates hosts known as Zookeepers.
Hello everybody and welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I am your host for this evening, One-Ton Hammer.
I will be your zookeeper tonight, Reject.
Alright, and welcome to the zoo. I am the Lucky Pop-Tart Inquisitor.
Sanguine. Skep Tock.
I'm Prospero.
Cassie. And I'm Delahazed.
Regular streamers, they're known as minions, and special guests are known as traveling exhibits. They're on a nightly basis, so that each show has something unique and fresh for our audience. Minions of the Zoo currently streams at 10:30 Central Standard, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time.
So, if you're not at work today or you're working from home, you may be wondering, what day is it? Todd has the answer for us.
It's Monday.
Let's be xenophobic. It's really in this year. Let's find a nasty, slimy, ugly alien to fear. There's no more cutesy stories about E.T. phoning home. Let's learn to love our neighbors like the Christians learned in Rome. We know we ought to hate them. They're different, you see. We've seen they're mean and ugly on movies and TV. The folks that ought to know have told us how it's got to be. The gospel truth is found in scenes from Alien and V. Let's wipe out any life form that seems to be a threat. We'll serve them up a genocide they never will forget. 'Cause if we miss a couple, they'll breed a couple more. And soon we'll all be hating twice as many as before. You see, aliens can never be as good as humankind. A more delightful race than us you'll never ever find. So step aside, you star slime, we're ready for your worst. We know you want to beat us, enslave us and defeat us, oppress us and browbeat us unless we get you first.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the zoo. I'm your Zookeeper for tonight, Inquisitor. Minion joining me so far is Johnny Hellcat.
Hello.
Hello. We're supposed to get Mr. Adam and Shady if he decides to come on. But how are you this evening?
Oh, not too bad. Yeah, I haven't been feeling as nauseous as I have been last whiles, but you know, that card is subject to change.
Yeah. What's bringing on the nausea?
They don't know, and they probably won't for a while.
Oh no. Is this sort of thing like Polly gets with his vertigo spells? Or?
I don't know. I do have a doctor's appointment coming up on the 14th, I think.
Okay.
The closest Tuesday to the 14th. And, yeah, I got a gastroesophageal endoscopy.
Sounds complicated.
Yeah, they're gonna stick a tube down my throat and see what my stomach looks like.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's but what's funny is working in the insurance sector. I see this pop up a lot, and I'm like, oh, I have one of those coming up.
Well, let's hope it's nothing serious. I wouldn't want that.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Yeah. So, how's things going for you?
Just started a job here recently. This is my currently starting my 3rd week at the job, so I'm enjoying it so far. It's a pretty damn good job, if I do say so myself.
And what section of the workforce are you in?
Warehouse.
Ah.
Yeah. It's like all you can really get around here, I swear to God. I wasn't looking for it. I really wasn't, but it found me. But you know what? At least this place that I'm working at, I got my first paycheck last weekend because you don't get your first week's paycheck the first week you work.
Yeah.
I didn't work as many hours as I did this last week, and it's worth more than 2 of my paychecks were at the place I worked at before.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, I'm pretty okay with where I'm working now.
Definite pay raise then.
Definite. Much larger.
Yeah, I do miss working 2 jobs to a degree. As far as the, hey, look, I have money,
Yeah.
but I also like sleeping.
I
So
was gonna say, you also like free time?
yeah, because I worked 2 jobs for 3 years. Starting at the beginning, I started at working 80 hours a week. So both my jobs were full-time jobs. And I was essentially losing my mind.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm drinking like 3 Monsters a night just to almost stay awake through a shift. And I'm like, yeah, this needs to stop.
Do not blame you. Yeah, I would have recommended you stopping long before that. Oof.
But yeah, then it went from the other job put me at part-time, which kind of helped. And then my night job was getting to the point where like there's supposed to be a section of professionality to every job, and I understand that.
Sure.
But a job has to be fun too, especially when you're dealing with people.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that, everything should be, there's got to be a healthy mix of serious and not so serious.
Sure.
And it was getting to the point where they were gonna, the fun police were gonna move in, and if you had not gotten any of your work done, which there are some days when you can't, and some days when you can only do so much.
Sure.
And they were gonna pretty much start writing up people that didn't get the absolute minimum amount done. And I'm like, well, I've been here 20 years. I'm getting the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I got the fuck out. And when I left, they were 45 positions down. I talked to my old boss a couple of weeks ago because they were thinking that I took one of the group home keys with me, and I'm like, oh no, I made sure when I left that there was absolutely no reason for me to go back. So
Yeah.
if anything, I left my stuff there, and I'm not going back for it. But yeah, I told them I don't have any of the stuff there, and I'm like, well, how's things going? And he goes, there's 75 positions down. And I was like, are there even 75 positions there? And yeah, it turns out that they temporarily closed down a couple of the group homes so that they can move people into the bigger group homes.
Okay.
And then, from my understanding, they shut down one of the vocational settings just because there's no staff to fill those slots.
That sounds like a problem with the management.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Yeah, so yeah, there's several positions I've had that are, you know, I like to call it having a terminal case of upper management. Netflix was like that. Not to disparage Netflix, but yeah, they came in and like one of the things they wanted to do is they wanted to separate the DVD rental service from the streaming service. They wanted to call the DVD rental service Flickster, and the backlash from their customers was so extreme that they decided to walk that back. But that didn't mean that the people that ultimately did unsubscribe from Netflix meant that I lost my job. So I lost my job because of upper management. Thanks.
Awesome.
Stupid marketing decision cost me my job. Thank you, Netflix upper management. You can go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. So have you watched any of the Moon Knight show?
I have not. Is it good? You're not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm not a fan of Moon Knight.
Well,
you will, Polly, but
my first dabble into comics actually, when my friends got me, like they got me hooked. Moon Knight was my go-to.
Okay.
So I was really looking forward to this in the start, and the first couple episodes, I'm like, this moving a little fast, but it's not bad. And Scribe did his set his reaction to it, and he's not far off. It just turned to shit, after episode 3. And then it just didn't get better.
Yeah,
and
I know Scribe is pretty diehard when it comes to that kind of stuff. When he was on Comic Book Curation, he recommended Punisher, and I know he hated the Punisher series, which is kind of heartbreaking.
I mean, I understand you need to like adapt something to TV. And especially like with the times, it's hard to take, a 1920s story and, if you're going to tell the same story in a 2000 setting, it's not going to go well. But
I think it went pretty well for The Shadow, right? That was a fairly
movie. But The Shadow was set back in that time too. Like you can do a, well, I'm sure you could, but like the same kind of story from a 1945 setting with a 2020 timeline. Like I just because the technology is such a fast jump there.
Sure.
I'm sure there's going to be, shortcuts around other stuff. Like, hey, Adam.
Hey, it's fun.
Hey, it's Adam. What is poppin', Playboy?
Yo. Hey, how's it going, Hellcat?
Not too bad. I just think that well, it relied on everyone knowing the story already,
Okay.
and that's that's a big thing because Moon Knight's not really a big player.
Yeah, and I say it's different with someone like Spider-Man or Batman. You can get away with that. Those are like part of the and Superman. Those are part of like the cultural zeitgeist. But
In fact, if they could stop doing that, that'd be phenomenal.
yeah, right. I don't need to see Thomas and Martha Wayne getting shot for the 20 millionth time.
Come on, but don't you understand the importance of when the robber grabs hold of the pearl necklace?
Yeah.
You know, ripped apart.
Adam, comic book girl 19 actually did a whole stream where she made a pearl necklace specifically to rip it. Every single filmmaker who's ever filmed that scene has gotten that wrong. Pearl necklaces don't rip like that.
It didn't rip. Okay, well, you know what? That's because they didn't use the proper ripping pearl string that you should use. That's what they. I mean, you gotta remember that was hard times in Gotham City at the time, so they didn't have.
Not for the Waynes.
Well, even for the Waynes, that's how hard of a times it was. You know, they didn't even have proper strength in their pearl necklace string.
I'm just wondering how many people are now giggling, like 12-year-olds, with saying how many times that we've mentioned pearl necklace.
Yeah, well. Get them while you got them. Oh no. Martha.
No.
Why'd you say Martha?
Why'd you say that name? That was one of the dumbest things of that movie, I swear to God.
Well, I mean, is that the same movie that had him or
The jar of piss?
No,
Oh.
Lex Luthor feed somebody a jelly bean.
It was a Jolly Rancher.
A Jolly Rancher. And it was also where he comes into a courtroom with a jar of piss.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so that was the same movie. Oh yeah. Okay.
It's all the same movie.
A couple of different. That movie.
That movie was awful. Here's the thing, right? I'm an apologist for the fucking Suicide Squad movie. I think that movie isn't as bad as everyone says it is. Batman vs Superman is as bad as everyone says it is. That movie was garbage. That movie was hot garbage.
And you know, the only thing I can say is I did like the Batman saves Martha. It was a nice little fight action scene. So.
Well, see, they were taking cues from The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes.
You know, but here's the thing.
They should have done more of that.
They weren't doing The Dark Knight Returns. It works in that story. It doesn't work in that movie's shitty adaptation. I'm sorry, Snyder, but it was awful. It was bad. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was good because your kid unfortunately committed suicide. It was a bad movie. I'm sorry, but it was.
I don't even know about the kid.
Yeah, there's fuck, what's his name? Zack Snyder. His kid committed suicide, and it was brought up in some Vanity Fair or something like that article about the BVS thing, or not BVS, sorry, Snyder cut of Justice League, and that was why he like stopped working on the Justice League movie, and why it went to fucking Joss Whedon. Is because his kid committed suicide and blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, my condolences to your family for that. It's not a nice thing to go through at all, but I'm not gonna make excuses for your bad movies, dude.
especially if it's that broken up.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, the only good movies he has ever done was the, and even then, this one has problems. The Dawn of the Dead remake and Watchmen. Those were his only good movies.
I'm surprised you like Watchmen.
Oh, I do. I liked Watchmen. I thought it was a pretty damn good adaptation of the comic. And also, hi, Shady.
Yellow. My only complaint with Watchmen is the lack of underwear on a certain blue person.
Well, his dong was out in full view in the comic, so at least it's.
It was?
Oh yes. Absolutely.
I thought he had like a Speedo on all the time or something.
When it cuts to flashbacks when they were part of the Watchmen team, yes. But in all of like the quote present day stuff, dong in full view.
Okay. I have to reread that. I've not read it in a while, and I've not seen the movie in a while.
Oh yeah. Which is funny because like, isn't that part of like the ridiculous laws when it comes to like pornographic stuff in the U.S. that male genitalia makes it NC-17? But for some reason,
NC-17?
yeah, you've never heard of that? NC-17.
I thought that was a European rating or something.
No, that's in America. NC-17 is essentially reserved for just pornographic stuff, like straight porn. Is NC-17.
Oh, okay.
If it's ever released in a theater. Like R, you get for like language and boobies, titties, and butts. But if you show dong, it goes straight to NC-17. Well, you can show dude butt, but you can't show dude dong.
Go figure.
It's weird.
Not that I want to see it.
No, neither do I. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm just saying, it's weird that we have this double standard. I mean, not that I again would want to see it, but it's weird that we have this double standard.
What does the NC mean? Is that pretty straightforward?
I actually don't
North
know.
Carolina. No, let me look it up.
What does NC-17 mean? Okay.
The only thing I can think of would be nude content.
It just says,
hold on,
no one under age 17 or under. How does that go to NC? What? Where's the C?
Not Coraline. Wait, that's not a word.
Yeah.
No children?
No children, maybe? Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, this is part of the Merriam-Webster's Dictionary. Definition of NC-17. Used to certify that a motion picture is of such a nature that no one under the aged 17 or under can be permitted.
No children 17. That just
But see, like, you know, all the others are you know, self-explanatory. G, general. PG, parental guidance. PG-13, parental guidance, no one under the age of 13. R, restricted.
Okay. I went to abbreviations.com and it says no children under 17 or not for children under 17.
Okay.
That makes sense.
But that's also, I think abbreviations.com is just like a, you know, like an Urban Dictionary type thing. It's you put it in and see if people rate it accurate.
Okay.
So yeah, the no children under 17 is the higher rated one.
Okay, makes sense. I say it sounded plausible when Johnny said it, so I was all like, okay, that I guess that makes sense. But it's just, again, it's kind of weird that, you know, everything else it's fairly easy to see exactly where they're coming from, and then NC what?
Well, and then I've heard NC-17 since I was 17.
Yeah.
But no one ever told me what NC meant. Like,
yeah, same.
Like, bad. I guess that's really all it means. Don't watch that.
Yeah, it means don't look at that, you naughty boy. Oh, the internet's a thing? Oops.
Yeah, even on here, NC-17, no one under 17 and under. Okay. The C.
Yeah, where's the C? Where does the C come from? I have a feeling this is our American version of hundreds and thousands of what?
No, it's not. No, it's not. That means we're gonna
Has there ever been an NC-17 movie?
Oh yeah,
You
tons.
cannot believe.
Tons. Oh my god, especially in the 70s. Grindhouse movies are a thing, man.
Grindhouse. The only Grindhouse movies I've seen are the two recent ones. That were basically a homage, I think, to Grindhouse.
Are you talking about the Quentin Tarantino ones?
The Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez did like a double feature.
Yeah. And what it was is that one of those movies was literally just called Grindhouse. That was the title of the movie. It didn't have anything to do with Grindhouse. It was just because essentially what Grindhouse.
That was my exposure to the concept. I'll say that.
Yeah. Because essentially what Grindhouse is it's like art house films that didn't get wide national distribution in any sort of way. So it was like ways that guerrilla filmmakers would come and get their movies seen by independent theaters. And it was a way to get around the rating system. So they were usually pretty hardcore in a lot of their content.
And hey, if you want to tag on a video game aspect for that, House of the Dead Overkill. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I played a lot of House of the Dead in the arcade. I don't think I ever actually played it in the home arcade. Or like, at home, because I didn't really own it. The only House of the Dead that I own, I think, let me check, is Typing of the Dead.
Yeah, that's what I have on my PC.
Well, I've got it for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, well, I got it because I suck at typing and I thought it might help.
Oh, well, it's a lot better than Mavis Beacon. I'm just going to say that.
Yep.
I don't know, Mavis Beacon kind of helps me a bit, but
Really?
I way back, not recently, like way back in middle school, so.
Yeah. I'll say for me, I took, it was a typing course in my middle school that they had, but it was funny because like all of their recommendations were things that I already did, and then seeing them say that this is what you do and this is why you do it, I'm like, oh, that's why we do it. Okay, well, like your index fingers are supposed to rest on the F and J.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and because of that, I just kind of like got myself oriented to the QWERTY keyboard without really needing to look at the keyboard anymore. And I did that since I was like fucking 5. So it was interesting learning the whys of it, not because I needed to learn how to type.
I mean, I like how in Typing of the Dead they have like a typing computer in front of them.
Oh yeah, and a Dreamcast on their back.
Yeah, and a Dream. But
whatever,
hey,
dude, I got a keyboard.
In Virtualon, on the Dreamcast, they have Dreamcast.
I would say my favorite thing about Typing of the Dead though is the short stories. I've got this one video that someone did with the greatest short story. It's like, do your homework, go to school. Weren't you married yet? When will my mom leave me alone? My feet hurt me when I walk a lot. My eyes kill me when I play games. My head hurts me when I think. I shouldn't do anything ever. And then, if I ever get married, I want to find someone raised by a single father. At least that would save me the trouble of wanting my mother-in-law dead.
These are the phrases that they have in Typing of the Dead.
These are things that you have to type out in Typing of the Dead on Dreamcast, yes.
Oh my goodness.
It's amazing. I love that about that game. It's like a late stage boss battle where you have to like type, because like the game starts off where you have to type like single letters, and then it gets a little bit more complex with like small words, then larger words, then more complex words, then sentences, and then whole several sentence paragraphs. And that boss battle is where you have to type paragraphs.
We need to do a live stream of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I have it. And I have the Dreamcast keyboard too.
Yeah, but we need to construct the keyboard backpack.
Yes.
That way you're standing there playing with the keyboard backpack.
Although I'm not putting my Dreamcast on my back. That might fuck with the weird jet engine takeoff heatsink that it has on it, and I might just fly away.
And we don't want to ruin a perfectly good Dreamcast.
Yes.
I think a cardboard substitute would be fine.
Yes, yeah. I say I need to get another Dreamcast because I don't want to like run the risk of having my original Dreamcast, the one that I got when I was a kid. I think that was the last console my parents ever bought me. Was my Dreamcast back in 1999. After that, all of my consoles I bought. I don't want to ruin that console with, usual just wear and tear. I want to have a throwaway Dreamcast, so to speak.
I think the last console my parents ever bought me was the Super Nintendo.
Oh, well, yeah. Super Nintendo's not a bad console. I didn't grow up with it, but it's not a bad console.
Okay, so let's look at different stuff.
I was proud of the PlayStation I bought because I sectioned off parts of my paycheck. It was the first thing I actually put effort into saving up for.
Hell yeah. I think it's funny, all of the video game consoles I bought when I bought them new, I didn't have to save up for it. I was working at a job that made enough money that I didn't need to save up for it at the time. So
unfortunately, as I was able to buy the my first PlayStation 1, 3 months later the PlayStation 2 came out.
Oh no.
I'm like, son of a bitch. Like,
What are you doing buying a fucking PlayStation 1 in 2000 for it?
well, at the time, I was trying to play catch up with being that it is Montana. We get things rather late compared to other regions.
That's it. All right, your excuse holds water, Johnny. You're excused.
Like we got high-speed internet. I think it was 2005.
Jeez.
Like my mom was running a 56K modem for like 5 years.
Still hear that dialogue.
I can't not dial up too much because I played fucking Dreamcast on dial up.
Oh yeah.
Yep. SegaNet. Played
Well, and
Quake 3 Arena online.
when I was looking into buying a modem for the PlayStation 2
Mm-hmm.
when it came out, and I'm just like, I don't know if I should do this. I'm just gonna need to research this a bit. And then by the time I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. And then I read the thing on there, and you're like, you need at least a T3 modem for this, and I'm like, nah. Even if I could get it, there's nothing I could do to support this.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, not a whole lot of people in the country would be able to either.
Well,
T3 modems were a rarity even here.
Like, the only thing I remember seeing about, the difference between, I think that's when cable modems started to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the Napster days.
Oh yeah.
And my friend had it, and he'd type up a band song, and it's like, oh, do you want to get the T1, the T2, or the T3 version of this? And he's like, and T3. And then yeah, he's like, yeah, if you find someone with a T3 connection, you can download it faster than someone with like a 56K.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, but don't you have a 56K? And he goes, yeah. Well, then isn't that going to slow that down? He goes, yeah, but it'll be marginally faster compared to if we both have modems that suck. Yeah, I didn't have we didn't get our first computer until I think it was 2002.
Like actual computer, not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a bare bones one that they bought from. God, I don't even know where they bought it from.
CompUSA.
Might as well have been.
I had a buddy that worked at CompUSA.
It was a compact.
Yeah, yep, compact. I say the buddy that worked at CompUSA, I got so jealous of him because he was the one that got the Dreamcast promo T-shirt.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got the it's a black T-shirt with on the front $99.99, and on the back is the Dreamcast swirl. I was so jealous. I want that shirt so bad.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because Dreamcast is awesome. It's one of my favorite consoles of all time. It's
I
amazing.
have not actually played a Dreamcast.
Well, we need to remedy that, Johnny. We need to get together and we need to have you play some fucking Dreamcast games.
Yeah, dude.
I have the Null emulator, and that that's the closest I've come to playing a Dreamcast, and I still have not played any Dreamcast games on it.
Oh, you should. Which emulator was it, by the way?
The Null DC Bear.
Never heard of it. I don't even know what that is.
It's like I don't know where Terry found it, but by golly, the thing's ingenious because it's got everything from like the Game Boy, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, the PSX.
Which Sega? Just the Saturn? Or?
I think the Saturn,
Genesis,
the Master System, and the CD.
And the Genesis, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I'm bringing it up right now so that I can verify
I'm kind of
which
shocked that it
ones.
would have the Saturn. I mean, Saturn has kind of come into its own now several years after it is no longer a thing. But at the time, the Saturn was, no one had a Saturn here in the U.S., which is a shame because it had like the best games. Saturn has the definitive best version of Symphony of the Night.
Does it?
Yeah, it's only in Japan though. Never got released here in the States. The reason why is because the PlayStation version, you can't play as Maria. In the Saturn version in Japan, you can.
Let's see here. All right. So let's see here. We got Dreamcast, Famicom.
Actual Famicom. Nice. Play some Takeshi's Challenge.
Oh shit, Takeshi's Challenge.
It's like Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Genesis, Binary.
I have
whatever.
an actual physical copy of Takeshi's Challenge.
Genesis bin.
I imported it from Japan because I was able to find it for like pennies on the dollar.
The 64, Naomi, Neo Geo Pocket,
Hell yeah.
NES, PCE. I don't know what that one is.
PC Express, I believe.
PSX, PSX Asia, PSX PAL, Sega Saturn, Sega Master, and SNES.
So what kind of ROMs does the Sega Saturn one have? I'm interested in that.
And Atom is Wave. That's another one too.
Oh, Atomus Wave. That's for those that don't know what the Atomus Wave is. That was a arcade console developed by Sega.
I see.
And for which one?
Saturn.
Saturn.
Yeah. What kind of video
right
games
there.
do they have for the Saturn?
Let's see here. There's a whole shitload.
They have Guardian Heroes.
Let's see here. Yeah, the search bar. So fortunately, I can take a look.
Sweet.
Let's see here. There is Guardian Heroes, Europe, Japan, and USA.
Nice. Is there netcode? Can you play that like online with people?
Yeah. Terry,
Sweet.
Dale, and I have all tried.
All right, so you're gonna have to.
Terry's put more research into it than we have.
That's fine. So you'll need to link me to this, or Terry needs to link me to this, so I can download this stuff. Because that seriously, Adam, this might be a way to do it. On your Sunday nights. That way, we can play literal console games across the internet with each other.
So I know it takes a VPN, and I don't remember which one it is because I have like 7 on here.
Okay. Because, seriously, if we can play like old games, then that shouldn't tax your PC too much.
Radmin, I think it is.
Is it free, the VPN?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think you have to sign up for something, but I think that's like at minimum what you'd have to do.
Okay.
But they do have Shining Force CD on here, and that's the one of the 3 that I haven't played from the original yet.
Mm-hmm. say I have Shining Force 1 and 2 for the Genesis. And I have Shining the Holy Ark for the Saturn. So that's the way to tempt Adam, is because Shining Force is one of his favorites.
Yeah. Like to give me a copy of the Shining Force for sure.
Yeah, they have Shining Force 2, Shining Force 3, Shining Force Resurrection of the Dark Dragon.
Whoa. Okay, once you cross the threshold of Shining Force 3, that's alien. That's when it starts getting into this, like, oddball fucking anime. Like, look, I get that a lot of people appreciate this type of storytelling and aesthetic. For me,
Shining Force has always been very anime inspired, bro.
It has, but it's been sort of grounded in like
fantasy and stuff. Yeah.
Fantasy, like old school, like medieval type stuff. You know?
Well, like I said, there's anime that's like that. I mean, Record of the Lodoss War.
They still do that.
Record of the Lodoss War? You better believe it, man. They just came out with a game for Record of the Lodoss War like last year. And it's really, really good. It's a Metroidvania game.
I will have to look into it.
Yeah, that's like what was it, Shining Force Neo. Even that felt a little too much. Like,
yeah, I can understand some of the anime tropes. It gets too much. I say, let's put it this way: I watched the X-Men anime. I couldn't make it 3 minutes into it. I had to shut it off. It was literally the most obnoxious, full of anime trope bullshit I've ever seen.
Ooh.
Seriously, like, and I don't even hate anime. I don't. I really don't. I call myself a reformed weeb because I used to really, really, really like anime back in the day. I think the thing that really kind of turned me off to it was all of the absolutely obnoxious people who like it.
oh yeah.
But I never disliked the anime in particular. But good God, the X-Men anime is awful. It is the most, like, stereotypical anime. Like, it borders on parody. It is that stereotypical.
The Wolverine one was kind of the same too.
Yep.
Kind of the same. It was the same. Like, there's no
Like,
kind of to it.
Yeah, like, and see, that's the thing, is I think that they wanted to do that because of the Frank Miller Wolverine saga where he was in Japan. Okay, that's fine, but seriously, there's a difference between doing that and going full retard with it, and they went full retard with it.
Damn it, you never go full retard.
You never go full retard.
You know, a lot of people, they tend to go overboard with their projects.
Yeah. Like I said, the X-Men anime, it was the most obnoxious stereotypical anime ever, and yeah, no, I couldn't watch it. And then you know, compare that with like some of the other stuff. Like, one of my favorites was the Hulk versus cartoons. Those were really good. Hulk versus Wolverine was really, really good.
Yeah.
Hulk versus Thor, really good.
The Hulk versus Wolverine. That was recap of the first
appearance of
comic
Wolverine,
issue, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't remember what storyline the Thor one was, but it was actually a story in the comics as well.
Wasn't it? I'm thinking it was, if I remember correctly, which I typically won't. It's like wasn't like Loki and the Enchantress like fucking with Hulk just to have him attack
Asgard
Thor?
and defeat all the champions. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other bit too was they were trying to get Hulk. They were trying to think that the Hulk was strong enough to lift Mjolnir, without being, requiring being worthy, so to speak. So.
Yeah, I did not like that, or I don't like that concept. Like that you can be strong enough to lift Mjolnir without being worthy.
Yeah.
Kind of defeats the purpose of the being worthy part.
Well, that was the whole thing. Is that's what they were trying to do. They weren't successful because obviously they were villains, so they can't be successful.
I misheard. My apologies.
The other bit too is Hell basically rejects Hulk's soul too when he dies. So. Oh, like I said, those cartoons were pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Which is odd, because usually DC cartoons are way, 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 way better, so I wasn't expecting all that much from Marvel. But the Marvel cartoons turned out to be pretty good.
The Doctor Strange one was actually pretty good too.
I didn't see
that. And I kind of wish that they were sticking with that one, but I can see why they took it the way they did.
You mean for Multiverse of Madness?
No, for the first Doctor Strange.
Oh, first Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
In terms of that stuff, I don't think that they'll be able to top Justice League Dark, but we're not talking about comparing it to DC movies. We're talking about, is it a good movie by itself?
DC had a really good run with their animated series. Especially with tying them together. But Marvel, their Justice League had, or not Justice League, shit. Wow, Adam. No, their Avengers. They had Earth Mightiest Avengers, and then
Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I think.
Or Earth Mightiest Heroes, yes, yeah. And then the Avengers. And, like, I think it was two separate. I don't know why they did it like that, but.
By the way, get closer to your mic, Adam. You're getting quieter.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, they had the two. I don't understand why they had the two separate series, but the Avengers cartoons was fantastic, and I think it was Mightiest Heroes that had Dr. Doom, and holy shit, when he was doing the Skrull saga, it was awesome. That's my depiction of Doom is 100% there. It's like, you know what? I'm not here. I'm running my country, and I'm gonna leave because I'm Dr. Doom. Bam.
I've never really been a fan of Dr. Doom. I get why Polly likes him, but I don't know. This is me. I always found like almost all of Marvel's villains, if they weren't X-Men villains, would be kind of lame. And even then, some of the X-Men villains were kind of lame.
Well, I mean, unless you get to the oddities of Molecule Man, you know.
Like for X-Men and stuff.
Well, for all of it, you know, it's like this dude could fucking just blink and decide that everything's gonna change. You know, it's weird.
Oh, you mean like Scarlet Witch? And the reason why I stopped watching or stopped reading X-Men? Hell, all of Marvel?
No, those are positive changes.
Okay? No. M-Day was a mistake, and it got me to stop reading Marvel carte blanche.
Did you see the there's some articles out there where apparently Elizabeth Olsen was talking to the director on how to work Scarlet Witch's story in Doctor Strange 2. And it's like, dude, what the fuck?
You're not a comic book writer, Elizabeth Olsen. Fucking say your lines and go home.
It's just weird that they... Why not just... You had a whole Disney Plus series to do it. Why not just do it there?
You know, okay, Assassin of the Grey said he watched a snippet of Teen Titans that was unwatchable with all the pandering to anime tropes. Okay.
Oh.
I agree. I agree. And here's the reason why. Because it wasn't made in Japan. I can excuse a lot of that kind of shit if it's made in Japan, but Teen Titans was made in fucking France.
In France?
Now, I'm not gonna say that all of Teen Titans is bad. I've watched a lot of Teen Titans. But, like, the things that really irked me were all of the anime shit that they were cramming into it. You know, the sweat drops, the angry veins, that kind of shit. All of these things that literally mean nothing to anyone else who's not Japanese. You know? Only the people that watch anime even know what it means because it's not culturally relevant to people that don't live in Japan. That kind of shit just pisses me off. And it's not to say, you know, you can't... is the cultural appropriation and whatnot. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's cringy as fuck when people aren't Japanese try to do that shit. And it's obnoxious. So I can kind of get where you're coming from there, Assassin. Now, again, I'm not going to say that all of Teen Titans was bad. It wasn't. I liked Teen Titans. I really liked, what's her name? Shit. Hayden Walsh as Starfire. I think she did a really good job getting the character of Starfire across in that show.
Are we talking about the first one,
yes,
the second one,
Titans Go.
or the abortions that came after it?
No. And see, that's the thing is that I actually give a lot of credence to Teen Titans Go, too. I know, blasphemy, right? Teen Titans Go is not as bad as everyone thinks it is. Plus, for the people that know the references and pay attention, there's a lot of adult content in Teen Titans Go. A lot. Like, one of my favorite things is that they've got stickers of, like, various different superheroes and supervillains in the elevator, in the background of it. 90% of them are Watchmen characters. What the fuck is Watchmen doing in a kiddie version of Teen Titans?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, no, there's lots of references like that in the Teen Titans Go series. There really is.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I just did a quick image search because I wanted to see how many. Because there's quite a few iterations of Teen Titans, isn't there?
Okay, are you talking about
as far as the animated ones go?
Oh, okay. Well, there's the Justice League versus Teen Titans. I think there's a Teen Titans movie. Then there was the Teen Titans TV show, and then there's Teen Titans Go.
Is that one chick still writing that I am
Pardon
not
me.
Starfire?
Yeah, don't even
Story?
bring that up. I forbid it.
Oh, are you talking about the I am not Starfire?
Yeah.
Mariko
Like, if-
Tamaki or whatever her name is. No, the I Am Not Starfire was just a graphic novel.
Okay, because
Oh,
for fuck's sake, if that's not saying I have mommy issues, I don't know what is.
Yeah, well, and not only that is that that whole cartoon or that whole comic is a self-insert too. And that's the thing.
And then
what really pisses me off is that the whole Mandy character they created as being Starfire's daughter. Starfire already has a fucking daughter. Her name, her name is, oh god, what was her name? Shit. So they basically retconned that character out of existence to give her a frumpy self-insert. It's bad. It's bad on like a million different ways. It was a bad idea to do from the very fucking beginning. And fuck DC for doing that. Fuck DC for also giving what's her nut cunt, Zoe Quinn, a fucking comic book in Vertigo. Not like that helped anything. It just hastened the death of Vertigo. Thanks, DC.
Starfire. Let's see. Family. Blah blah blah.
She had a superhero name too. I can't remember if it was
Night Star.
Night Star. Okay.
I think.
Is that the name of the new Black Cat being the new Spider-Man? It's Night Spider.
I have no idea about that.
She's described as daughter alternate universe.
Well, alternate universe. No, it was the real universe for DC. But then again, everything now in DC is
Full
alternate
name
universe.
Mari Grayson.
Yeah, Mari Grayson. That was it. So yeah, they had to literally write this character out of existence to write in a self-insert. Mandy Grayson.
Thankfully, this from what I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was for a single fucking comic book. Or graphic novel, sorry, whatever. I don't care.
Whoa.
I don't know, man. I think in terms of ways for sitting here talking about whether or not good comics are going to carry the day at the end of the day, I don't think that that's going to be the case anymore. I really don't. I mean, you can sit there and say that, you know, you buy the comic books you like, but that's not what other people do, right? It's the whole consume thing until the next thing comes out, and then you consume the next thing. Red Letter Media, you know, coined that phrase, and Red Letter Media will spot why these companies don't learn their lesson from the bad shit they produce.
So, do you think it's gotten to a point where we can't do anything because the swamp is so deep, or?
I think it's more along the lines of they're not going to learn their lesson until they go bankrupt.
Yeah. And
if even then.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I kind of prescribe to. I hate to say it, but like with what Young Rippa says, like, dude, this is our opportunity to start up our own stuff. You know,
sure.
If we're gonna make new board games, let's start making new board games. We're gonna start making video games. Let's start doing video games. Comic books, entertainment, video media, let's do it. This is our time to fucking build it up. And it's funny because I was always under the impression that the idea that these people were bringing up towards these companies, where it's like, look, this minority group, if we cater to them, will earn a lot of profit. This is what the people want. And obviously, it's not what the people want. They haven't been making money off of it. They had to, at a certain point, start pushing to make it to what they want.
I don't know what you're talking about, Adam. I mean, Miss Marvel always turns a profit. That's what Sana Amanat says, right? Not that she has any vested interest in it being her character and therefore, cooking the books in sort of a way that makes her more royalty money or a bigger share of the royalty money, even though her character never fucking sells. No, see, she's always a hit, Adam. You bigot.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you were talking about Miss Marvel, like Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan, yes.
Or if you were talking about Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. But I was gonna say,
there's only
really
one
did,
Captain
really
Marvel,
did
Adam,
like
and he says Shazam.
Oh shit. I was gonna say I really did like Warbird. So let's go there. But that's what I mean. Like we can obviously see the turn off in terms of where the product isn't gaining profit as to what they expected. And again, it goes into, well, who is at the head, and are they doing this in terms of trying to earn profit, or are they trying to push an ideology? And I think at this point, we can all agree, it's they're pushing their ideology. They don't care about profit. Otherwise they try and salvage what they can.
But yeah, because it's this thing where like people are hiring activists because they're activists. They're not hiring business-minded people. They're not hiring people looking to make a living. They're hiring people who are looking to make a change. And they're not going to rest until they make the change they want.
I still think it's funny that America Chavez is such a good comic book now.
Well, I like the meme where it's she's an illegal
the first Latina superhero in the MCU, and her superpower is being an illegal alien. Yeah. No, I was say my favorite thing about that. Adam, have you heard the new story about America Chavez? The whole extended universe about America Chavez and about how it's changed. I think I've talked about it on Minions, but if not, I can talk about it again.
I know very little about America Chavez, only that she's a relatively new character, and she's a mutant who can punch through dimensions.
Yes. Okay, so here, I'll try to give a TLDR of the old America Chavez series. Okay? America Chavez, when she got her own comic book, because she never headlined a comic book before. She was part of like West Coast Avengers and a couple of other things. But her first headline comic, they got this woman who wrote what was it? Short stories, like young adult short stories. Her name is Gabby Rivera. They got her to write for America Chavez. Why? Because she's gay and Latina. Why do that for America Chavez? Because America Chavez is gay and Latina. Okay? Have we established the pecking order? Now, if you want to know about how bad this comic book is, go back and watch the comic book curation episode where Polly and I rip America Chavez #3 apart. It was a terrible comic written by a terrible author, and it's awful. But one of my favorite bits here, let me find it real quick. CO America Chavez. Now, 4chan has here, wait, hold on. America Chavez CO letter. America Chavez had 4chan has a comic book comic book board on 4chan, right? It's called CO. Stands for comic books, right? And they wrote a letter to America Chavez, or to Gabby Rivera for America Chavez. You know how there's like letters at the back of the comic book, right? They wrote a letter and it got printed. So here's the letter at the back of America Chavez. Dear Gabby, I just want to express all the joy and entertainment that America has brought me these past many months. Every time I see it online, I get excited and feel so many different emotions fill me up. The art, the writing, the original yet familiar characters, they all brings out so much for me and many others online and in real life. I can't help but laugh at every other thing this comic brings to me. Sometimes I'm left beyond belief at what I've seen printed. I promise you, as soon as the trade comes out for this, it will be my recommendation to the comic book reading group I am part of. Many of the members are fans of The Room, so I'm sure they will go for it. Hopefully your comics get the love and ratings they deserve. Sincerely, CO. So,
oh man.
Yes, America Chavez, written by Gabby Rivera, is awful. It is a bad comic book in every sense of the word. For every time that we were sitting there making fun of Marika Tamaki and her fucking I Am Not Starfire, yeah, America Chavez is just as bad because that's fucking Gabby Rivera writing her own self-insert in America Chavez, right? Now, a couple of other things about the background of America Chavez. America Chavez is not only a lesbian, she comes from a lesbian relationship. Her mothers birthed her out of star nothings and made her the most special and unique character of all time. She is the bestest. She comes from what's a place called the Utopian Parallel that is populated exclusively by women.
I gotta split, guys. I'll catch you later.
Okay. Later,
Sorry.
Shady. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Nice game with you, Shady.
So, this is the sort of thing we're dealing with, right? So, why is the new America Chavez so good? The new America Chavez comic, Made in America, I believe is the name of it, takes that story written by Gabby Rivera and shits all over it. They come up with this idea that America Chavez is somehow losing her superpowers. And come to find out that the reason why is because she, as a kid, was diagnosed with a terminal disease called Edges syndrome, where she was forced, the only treatment was by a doctor to bring her to a place that had a portal to another dimension. So it was kind of like the Fantastic Four, you know, like how they went to another dimension and they got superpowers. It was the same sort of thing, but it was to hold off her illness, this terminal illness that she had. And she, like, the radiation from this place is wearing off. So she's losing her superpowers and now she's dying. And come to find out that the utopian parallel that she was talking about was this horror dimension that bathed her in radiation that allowed her to live and have superpowers. Another thing, too, is that the utopian parallel, yes, there were only women there. Why? Because this disease only affected women. So literally everything that Gabby Rivera wrote, this new writer wrote as just a figment of her imagination. It was literally the biggest slap to Gabby Rivera's face. And guess what? The comic is actually pretty good.
I remember back in high school when I was showing a bit of interest in actually being a writer. I mean, I'm still there, but adult and time do not mix well.
Yes.
But I wrote, I think it was the beginning of our senior, let's say about the beginning of our senior year. I was writing something, and one of my friends was like, "Hey, you should write a story based on everyone, like everyone we hang out with." I'm like, "All right, I can see what I can work with," and I wrote just pretty much based on. It started off kind of like this. Everyone goes to to this circus or whatever, and we all end up going to we're gonna go see this fortune teller. We go into the fortune teller, and my character's walking his dog, and dog takes off, and somehow bump in the cosmos somewhere, we all end up in a different fucking or whatever. And that's how pretty much the characters ended up in this fictional world that I'm moving in.
Sure.
And it was kind of a mixture of I didn't really have anything set. It was all set kind of not like D&D style, but moderately kind of set in that time.
You mean like a fantasy sort of world?
Yeah, but not like magic so much as just the setting.
Okay.
The only character that had any kind of abilities so far was Cough mine, and it was because of the dog. Because the dog and my character were brought over at the same time because the dog ran off, so of course it's freak. It was trying to run away.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to catch the dog, and we end up fused together somehow. And so there was a split between essentially there was a werewolf character, and then there was the essentially what was left of my character, which is the human bad guy. And so everyone's thinking the whole time that the bad guy is the werewolf guy, and the good guy is the human one. But and I'm I get through the first part, I get through everyone's story, and it's 15 people that I'm writing for, and I get through, I'm this is garbage. This is just absolute shit. Which, were it something, in more of a comic book type, if it were more of a comic book type set rather than just literature, it probably would have been, at least made a little bit more sense. But yeah, it was just absolute shit. And one of my friends they were a big reader, she looks at me and she's just well, I can tell which character's yours. And I go, is it that obvious? And she goes, yeah, it's pretty bad. And I go, well, yeah, that's why I'm gonna burn this as soon as everyone's done tearing it apart, because yeah, even just he's you can tell who everyone is, especially since I told her who it was based on.
Yeah.
And some of the people, like a couple of them, she's just like, okay, this one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. The rest of them are just like so blatantly obvious who you're writing about.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just writing them into a corner. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a lot of people to write for without, by yourself.
Sure.
And you can't expect to make your because I didn't want my character to be the hero,
Sure.
but I wanted my character to be a important part.
Mm-hmm.
But I was making my character the most important part without.
Of course.
And so I put too much on I wanted to I made a vow based on after that, I was never gonna write myself into a character. Or if I was, it was going to be at least I was not allowed to be the main character of any story.
Let's put it this way: you've already at least shown infinite more self-awareness than both Marvel and DC writers have now.
Especially the Marvel writers.
Yes. What are you talking about? Kamala Khan is a unique and amazing and original character and is totally not based on Sana Amina, the writer.
Is this with the Mr. Fantastic powers, or is it with the Green Lantern powers?
Yes.
I didn't know she had Green Lantern powers.
Yeah, the new one. Her Disney Plus persona. She has a bracelet or rings or something like that manifests willpower.
Well, that sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Well, we'll see who has the most money.
Yeah.
Actually, I wrote a scene in that same story that was based off of Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah.
Did you eat someone's liver with some nice fava beans and Chianti?
No, I had the bad character wear someone else's skin.
Oh, okay.
And when they were found out, I described the skin just tearing off as if it was just breaking apart. And that's pretty much as far as I got with that. It actually was not a complete ripoff.
Did he say I'd fuck me hard?
No, he didn't talk.
Oh, okay. It puts the lotion in the basket or else it gets the hose again.
I made it halfway through Monk before I realized that it was Ted Levine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't watch this show anymore. It was funny because I was talking with my girlfriend at the time, and I'm like, I can't. No, I think I need to take a break. And she goes, "What do you mean?" And I showed him. We got to the episode where, I think it was the monkey that they thought shot the record producer.
Mm-hmm.
And he does all the character does all these tropish monkey things to set off the monkey.
Mm-hmm.
just so he can shoot the guy. Because they're like, oh no, we're gonna give him a fake gun, it'll be fine. And then they accidentally give him a live gun.
Yeah.
And so he like puts on a Shriner's hat and starts banging cymbals together and just like, you know, tries to agitate the monkey into shooting him. And then I'm just like, no, I can't watch this anymore. And she's like, why? And I'm like, you know who that is, right? And she goes, yeah, he's the guy. And I go, I think the last time I saw this guy, he had his penis tucked between his legs and he was dancing in front of a mirror. And she just goes, that was him?
Does that sound like
And I go, yeah. And she had to stop and like look, like she had it on, like, because that was back in the VCR days.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And she had it recorded and she just goes, no way. And so she like paused it and she's like, oh God. Like, and then she just keeps going. I'm like, yeah, I gotta take a break.
I'd fuck me hard.
So I was thinking, I think my friends and I were watching that, I think probably a couple of years before. And I just remember seeing them like, that guy can't have a career anymore. Like, there's no way. Just think of it like a job interview. It's like, hey, yeah, what kind of role do you think you're going for? Yeah, I had a role where I had my penis tucked between my legs and I started dancing and hold a toy poodle. It's like, yeah, we'll call you.
I was Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. Don't worry, you know the scenes. Everyone does.
Yes.
They're memes.
But then it's like, yeah, that would work.
He's famous. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then he's done so much.
Of course.
Like, it's not just... It wasn't like, oh, like he tucked his penis and then 20 years later he's Captain Stottlemyre. He was the voice in what is it? The truck stop. The one where he had Justin Long in it. And they prank this trucker, and then the trucker like murders the people that he said he. They did something, and yeah, he ends up killing the people that they were talking about, and so yeah, he comes back and tries to kill the people that pranked the thing. It was weird.
So okay, wait, hold on. Maybe since you're a movie guy, you might be able to help me out with this. There was a movie starring Kurt Russell that had him be like, he was like on vacation with his family, and then some truckers, part of this like criminal conspiracy, runs him off the road, and then like takes his family hostage and like steals their shit and like is doing all this horrible stuff, and then it's like he gets revenge on it. It's like almost like a 70s Grindhouse sort of movie, like a revenge, not quite an I Spit on Your Grave, because I don't think there was any rape in it, but it was that sort of movie, and it starred Kurt Russell. Do you know what this movie is? I could have sworn I remember seeing it, and I just don't remember the name of it.
That's not ringing any bells.
I mean, I could sit here and look through Kurt Russell's catalog, but I don't remember it. Assassin of the Grey, would you self-insert me? I'd self-insert me. I'd self-insert me hard. Kurt Russell IMDb. I just kind of want to see.
I was already on that. I'm usually 90% of the time I'm there.
Next 6 minutes says released in 1997, so let's go to 97. Breakdown.
Man searches for his missing wife after his car breaks down in the middle of the desert. That sounds close.
Yeah, maybe. J.T. Walsh played the main character, or the main bad guy, and he was in that. Oh, hey, I didn't know that. Kurt Russell was the voice of Elvis in Forrest Gump.
That makes sense.
Dark Blue was a good movie. I like that one.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in that movie with a whole bunch of Elvises?
That was 3,000 Miles of Graceland.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to maybe look at Breakdown and see if that was the movie.
You know,
He's been kidnapped and held for ransom, but who can you trust? Yeah, this kind of sounds like it. Okay, yeah. Alright, maybe I'll have to watch it. See if I can find a copy of it and watch it. 1997 Breakdown. Thanks, 6! Alright. Well, and with that, it is 10 o'clock, so I think it's about time we close up the shop. Thank you all for coming out. Thanks for watching some paint dry. We've been your minions. Be sure to watch tomorrow where Skep Tock is the host. And, shit, I don't even remember what day it is. Is it Thursday that, Johnny, you're hosting? Yes. Thursday where Johnny Hellcat is the host. And Sunday where Adam is the host. I was on there yesterday. Yeah. We've been your minions of the zoo. Thank y'all for coming out. And take care, everyone. The zoo is closed.
Good night.
Zim zim zalabim.